Yo guys, what is happening? Welcome back to Rule of 2 Review, and today let's discuss the cool announcement from Panic Button that their new port to the Nintendo Switch is Warframe. So this is really interesting news, and it's definitely exciting because it's an announcement of a new game added to the awesome and ever-growing roster for the Nintendo Switch. It is also, of course, a pretty impressive looking third-party game, which is always nice to see when it comes to a Nintendo console, and of course for the Switch, which has been doing so well on the third-party front compared to previous Nintendo generations. Sure, it's not up to par with the PlayStation and Xbox, and that is a shame, but honestly, as far as what we're seeing in this new age of Nintendo for the Switch, it's really impressive, man. I love seeing cool third-party titles coming to the console. They're made that much more cool and fun to me as a Nintendo fan, and probably to a lot of you, because they're put on the Switch, which doubles as a portable console, and that's just the coolest thing. But of course, what I wanted to do was specifically discuss the game Warframe. Now, this is a unique title for me to discuss. I initially probably wasn't going to make a video on it, but I did see a video posted by Player Essence. Of course, you guys know OJ, good friend of the channel here. He made a great video kind of breaking down some of the actual details of the title, which I really appreciated, because for me, the reason that this whole announcement is a little bit strange at first is because I don't really know this game. I'm not familiar with the title of Warframe. I'd never heard of it before. I know I may be in the minority camp here, but for myself, this announcement from Panic Button was also just an announcement of the game of Warframe, because it had just totally skipped me by. And it's crazy because looking at some of the details, researching the game, watching OJ's video, of course, it made me realize, man, this game has been around since 2013. It's like a pretty old game. I can't believe it. It's 5 years old. I think it first launched on the PC like around March or so in 2013, eventually made it to the PlayStation 4 later that same year, and then the following year made it to the Xbox One. So by 2014, it had made it to all other platforms except for the then Wii U, and of course is only now making it to the Nintendo Switch. Of course, as I researched a little bit further into the title, and even with the main initial announcement, this was kind of a piece of that marketing blitz when it was announced last night, what I've learned is it is a free-to-play title. And again, you guys have to remember, I know maybe many of you have been familiar with Warframe for a long time and played it on other consoles and whatnot. For me, it is brand new as of like 12 hours ago in my life when it was announced for the Nintendo Switch. So learning that it was a free-to-play game was definitely surprising and shocking, and I have to admit, not the most exciting to me. I am just somebody that doesn't typically love that model. I associate it with kind of paper-thin and unexciting mobile games and mobile experiences typically. I know there are a lot of other games on PCs and even the consoles that are also free-to-play, and I also know a lot of them are good. Like, people love Fortnite, and I think Fortnite was fun for the couple of days that I gave it a shot. So it's not like the game is inherently, or any game I should say that's free-to-play, is inherently a bad game. That's not how I roll, man. I ain't slinging mud here. But as far as what I typically look for from a video game that I'm into and wanting to invest a lot of time in, I kind of like the idea of them being not free-to-play and just more complete, solid, fully sold experiences. Now, I know some people may hate the idea and not possibly be able to comprehend why somebody wouldn't necessarily love a game that's just free outright. And I mean, for what it's worth, hey, like, I like not spending money, so don't get me wrong. It's not the free or non-free part of the discussion that I have an opinion on. It's what typically comes with and is associated with a free-to-play experience, as opposed to just an already complete game that's sold for 20, 30, 50, 60 bucks and has everything you need within it, except for maybe the occasional like DLC content down the road or whatever. But if it's an otherwise complete experience that just operates as its own fully packaged game at release, preferably in retail form. You guys know me, I like retail stuff. That's just, I don't know, that's just more interesting to me, man. Maybe it's because I'm an old man and I just grew up gaming way before we had options for free-to-play games and microtransactions and loot boxes and that kind of stuff. And games either just came retail, physical, and completed, or they didn't come at all. That's just the way it was, and I probably still have that in my DNA as a gamer, and it's probably never going to go away, and I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just how I am. But I will say, getting back to specifically Warframe, as much as I wish it wasn't like a free-to-play kind of game, looking at the gameplay, researching what it is, and knowing it'll be available on my sometimes portable Nintendo Switch, I mean, it's hard for me not to be excited, man, because the game looks really quality. Obviously, you guys have already been looking at some Nintendo Switch footage from the official trailer that they released last night with this announcement as well. So you can see kind of what the game looks like and plays like, what the Switch version is going to look like, which is very impressive to me. I'm really impressed. But of course, that's Panic Button's MO, man. These guys are awesome. What they're doing over there in terms of Switch ports, they are like the Switch gods right now. I'm really, really happy that these guys are on board with this. And like I said in a video a few weeks back, or a few days back maybe, is these guys are really impressively kind of making their business model around being a port studio for the Nintendo Switch. And mark my words, that is a smart business model. There's got to be some money in that. They're becoming well known in the gaming community and the Nintendo community as doing good work and good things for the Switch gamer. So they've got positive press, positive mind share in the gaming community. They're making great ports, and obviously these ports are probably selling well. I know Doom did pretty well. I think Wolfenstein's going to do very well as well. And whatever happens with Warframe here, they're probably making money too. I'm sure they're turning a nice profit, and with any luck, this continues, and I'm just really happy for those guys. I'm happy for their success, and I'm happy that they're bringing really good games to my personal favorite console. So what I'll also say about Warframe is, again, initially I kind of was like, it's free to play, like it looks neat, but it's free to play, so that's kind of disappointing. But I was still excited outright, for sure. Don't get me wrong, I was excited. But as I was alluding to earlier in the video, as I've researched the game, watched like OJ's videos and some trailers and stuff for the game online and some gameplay, it's like, dude, this game really seems pretty cool, man. And what I like about it, and why I think this is a very good, smart game to bring to the Switch, is I think this game does a lot of things that a lot of other great games and genres of games do that I would love to see come to the Switch. Now, bear in mind, this is based only on some of the info I've read, as well as some of the gameplay footage I've seen. I've not played the game, so maybe this is a terrible comparison, and you guys are going to yell at me for this, and if so, then you have at it. But what it seems like this game kind of does, which does excite me here, is something similar to like what maybe Destiny does, or what Anthem is trying to do, or what another game that I've wanted to see come to the Switch does, Overwatch. To me, it looks like it's got elements of all of those games kind of wrapped up in it. It's a third-person game. It's not first-person like Destiny, so that's a pretty big difference to it, or Overwatch also being first-person. But as far as the gameplay, that kind of fast-paced, frenetic, online sort of multiplayer match that's all very shooter-based with like high-tech, futuristic armor suits and robots and all this stuff. I mean, I know that you're like ninjas in space, which is awesome, by the way. But I don't know. There's something about what I've read and what I've seen about the gameplay. Knowing it's got an MMO kind of online feel to it, I don't know, it feels like it's got elements of Destiny and Overwatch and a little bit of what Anthem is trying to do as well. And obviously I haven't played Anthem, so I can't really speak on that, but we've seen enough of that game to know what it's trying to do. And I have to say, that kind of game and experience on the Nintendo Switch, I think is fan-freaking-tastic. I already am just a fan of shooters, and I do like online shooters. You guys can crucify me if you want, but I like Destiny. I think both the Destiny games are great in terms of gameplay. There are problems with some of the content and the repetition of missions. I totally agree. But overall, I really enjoy the Destiny games. And so taking that kind of thing, and I think Overwatch is really cool for what it is. And you guys have heard me say, I think Overwatch makes sense to bring to the Switch. And seeing this game come to the Switch means, A, we're probably going to see that there is a market for an online shared world kind of shooter, the way this game operates, as well as opening the door for maybe ports of some of these games. Maybe this could be like the planting of a seed for Overwatch to finally come to the Switch, and I hope it wouldn't be too little too late for that to happen. I don't think it would. I think the Switch could run a version of Overwatch that is made to work with the Switch hardware. I know some people think it's impossible. I just don't agree. And I'm not a tech expert, of course, but I just feel like with what we're seeing with some of the ports, even this Warframe game, which is very impressive graphically, yeah, I think Overwatch could work on the Switch visually. And I think that the gameplay model also could work on the Switch. Hopefully Warframe coming to the console, and if it's successful, which, come on, we know it's going to be successful on the Switch, I think it's going to start to break these walls down for some of this other online-focused competitive shooter sort of market. You know, already having a game like Rocket League and Fortnite come to the Switch really shows that some games like this can work and that people who play on the Switch want to have games like this on that console as well. And so while I don't love the free-to-play kind of experience typically, I'm very excited to give this game a shot. It looks like a blast to play, it looks like a ton of fun, and I think that this genre of game is a great addition to the Switch's library and to the lineup of genres and experiences that the Switch can do and offers to people. And again, I mean, I feel like I'll never stop repeating this in videos about why I love the Switch. The X factor is that portability. Like, that changes everything. You can take any game, whether it's a good game or a great game, and if it's just on a console on your TV, that's great. That's how we've been gaming our whole lives, and I love that stuff, absolutely. But the fact that you can just do what we've been doing for a year and a half and just pick it right up off that dock, and there you go. You have your Fortnite or your Warframe or your Doom, or maybe in the future your Overwatch, just my little theory. Maybe your Overwatch, you just pick it up and it's in your hand, man. That is so super cool. I just love that about the Switch, man. I mean, I already love Nintendo as a company. I love their games, and I love the fact that they gave us this device that makes this kind of stuff possible. So, you know, maybe it's a little bit of me fanboying out, but hey, they're my favorite company. I don't keep that a secret. There's nothing wrong with that, and most of you guys know I love and support my Xbox and PlayStation all the time. I've actually been playing my Xbox a lot the last couple of weeks. So yeah, at the end of the day, those are kind of my thoughts on Warframe, on Panic Button's decision. Love seeing how hard these guys are working to bring us awesome games. And you know, I've basically been sold on being excited for this Warframe game. Again, a game I had never heard of until yesterday, and I think it's going to be really great. Now, there is the crossplay situation. I guess I should add this here to end this video. A lot of people have been like, another game, hopefully we're going to get crossplay, and maybe Sony will still be done with crossplay. But it turns out that this game just flat out does not allow crossplay. No consoles have been able to play with each other from the original releases, and that now includes the Switch. But this isn't a Switch-only thing. It's not a Sony-only thing. It's a Warframe thing. Warframe and the team behind it do not have cross-play servers available for Warframe. Maybe that changes with a Switch audience coming pretty soon, and with so much conversation about crossplay the last couple of weeks, maybe they realize, hey, it might be worth it for us to invest in this. But we'll have to see with that. I don't really care either way. I think it would be great to see crossplay, but I'm not going to be like sad or disappointed. I've never played a game crossplay with anyone else ever on any console, so I just don't personally care. But either way, that's Warframe coming to the Switch, man. No date yet. We're still waiting to find out when it's going to launch. I'm going to guess around kind of maybe late summer, early fall, maybe August or September time would be a really good time. But the sooner the better, man. I mean, as much as I'm happy to pay for a game to avoid the free-to-play experience, at the same time, it's not like I'm not excited to know that when this game drops, I can just download it without buying it, to at least give it a shot and see if it's something I like. I think that is one of the saving graces of the free-to-play model. It's the free part. I mean, that part it's cool, man. It's hard to argue with free, so that's why I've learned that I'm actually pretty excited to play this game. So, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on Warframe? Have you played it before? Did you like it? Are you excited for the Switch? Do you not care? Maybe you hated it before. Maybe you're one of the few people like me who'd never heard of the game until it was announced for the Switch yesterday. Whatever you think, talk about that stuff below. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.